Welcome to The Explainer. So, we all remember watching those wide-eyed kids riding their bikes through Hawkins, right? Battling monsters, exploring the upside down, and completely stealing our hearts in the process. But what actually happens when the cameras finally stop rolling after a decade? Today, we're exploring exactly how these beloved child stars took the lessons they learned on set and transitioned into powerful, multi-million-dollar industry moguls by the year 2026. Okay, let's dive into this because it's honestly the ultimate hook. We've watched this cast navigate fictional trauma for nearly 10 years, but their real-world adult realities are somehow even more fascinating than the science fiction we saw on screen. I mean, it's a completely unprecedented scenario. You have a cast that literally grew up right in front of our eyes, carrying the weight of massive global expectations, suddenly set free to chart their own courses. And their next steps? Well, they were anything but predictable. To guide our conversation, here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with a love letter to childhood, move into shaping the upside down, and discuss the impact of fan theories. Then we'll get into building global business empires, explore their musical eras and directing, and finally wrap up with the 2026 next chapter. Let's jump right into Section 1, a love letter to childhood. Just think for a second about the sheer psychological weight of playing the exact same character for a decade. When Millie Bobby Brown said goodbye to Eleven, she was leaving behind a character she had built and maintained incredible consistency with since she was just a little kid. She actually noted in interviews that leaving Eleven behind literally felt like a death. It's a really profound testament to how deeply intertwined an actor becomes with their role when they essentially grow up together. She wasn't just acting, She was sharing a massive piece of her actual real-life childhood with all of us. And this wasn't just an isolated individual experience either. It was deeply communal. Joe Keery, who played Steve Harrington, noted how this shared decade-long journey created completely unbreakable bonds among the cast. And what's really beautiful is that this bond extended far beyond the set itself. The show actually brought global fan families together. For so many viewers, watching the story unfold became a weekly family bonding experience, creating a massive, interconnected community around a shared love for these kids. Moving right along to Section 2, shaping the upside down. Have you ever wondered how writers manage to wrap up a decade of complex lore without totally losing the plot? The creators use a process called blue skying. Basically, the writers get in a room and throw out every single idea imaginable. No bad ideas, right? But for the final season, they did something incredibly unique. They firmly established the exact final 5 minutes of the series first, and then collaboratively reverse engineer the entire season from that endpoint to ensure they stuck the landing flawlessly. And sticking that landing required some serious technological and collaborative magic behind the scenes. Take the flashback scenes with a young Will Byers, for example. Instead of just using CGI to de-age him, Noah Schnapp actually guided a young actor on set to maintain absolute character consistency. He then performed the scenes for facial capture before the artists at Weta FX spent over a year blending the two together to create this photorealistic digital magic. It's just a perfect blend of seasoned acting and cutting-edge tech. That brings us to Section 3, impact of fan theories. Now, you might be wondering how the internet's obsession impacted the actual story. It's fascinating to look behind the scenes here. Despite the massive global reach and fans formulating incredibly accurate theories off of just tiny teaser photos, the creators actively ignored it all. They intentionally shut out the noise of social media. Why? Because they wanted to protect the creative storytelling. They really wanted to get back to the mindset they had in Season 1, back when they were just making a scrappy, modest show with zero expectations. And the cast completely agrees with this approach. They consciously try to block out the industry of the show, the memes, the social media buzz, the endless selling of t-shirts whenever they are on set. They want to focus entirely on making genuine art and maintaining the honest connection that made fans fall in love with the story in the first place. For them, it's all about protecting the heart of the show from the sheer noise of its own massive success. And this brilliantly illustrates our fourth section, building global business empires. Okay, we really need to talk about the business side of things because Millie Bobby Brown's estimated net worth is staggering. It went from around $1 million in 2018 to $10 million in 2022 to an absolutely astonishing $20 million in 2026. She achieved this meteoric financial rise before she even turned 22. She didn't just passively ride the wave of her acting success, she built her own beauty brand, Florence by Mills, and launched her own production company to secure creative control and, of course, a much larger cut of the profits.
To put that into perspective, her historic, jaw-dropping upfront salary for Enola Holmes 2 was a cool $10 million. That paycheck proved she wasn't just a beloved child actress anymore, she was the architect of her own empire. And honestly, the most charming part of all of this, she uses this wealth to live completely on her own terms, way out of the Hollywood spotlight, raising her new family on a sprawling farm in Georgia with over 60 rescue animals. No way, right? It's the ultimate dream.
But Millie is definitely not the only mogul to emerge from Hawkins. Noah Schnapp has built a massive entrepreneurial portfolio of his own. He launched TBH, which is a sustainable hazelnut spread, co-founded Tender Fix, operating in nearly 1,000 IHOP locations, and launched Drifts, a footwear brand that earned $850,000 in its very first month. And remarkably, he managed to build this entire 2026 portfolio while actively studying business at the Wharton School. Talk about a multitasker. Next up is Section 5, Musical Eras and Directing. The multifaceted talents of this group map out beautifully across entirely new creative industries. Just look at Finn Wolfhard. He's touring with his indie rock band, The Aubreys. He released a highly praised solo album called Happy Birthday, and he co-directed a feature film called Hell of a Summer. Then you have Maya Hawke, who has fully established herself as an incredible folk pop solo artist, releasing her highly acclaimed album Matriarch Corso and embarking on a massive US tour. And of course, there's Joe Keery, who performs under the moniker Joe and just released his third album, The Crux. And speaking of Joe Keery, you really have to appreciate the sheer absurdity of modern fame. His track End of Beginning achieved massive viral fame for the absolute most unexpected reason. It inexplicably became the unofficial TikTok soundtrack for the newly elected Pope. Literally, you cannot make this stuff up. What's wonderfully grounding, though, is that despite this crazy charting success, Joe openly admits he still battles severe imposter syndrome, balancing global music fame with the humble anxiety of just wanting to connect with people. Let's bring it home with Section 6, the 2026 Next Chapter. Looking at their early 2026 projects, they are quite literally everywhere. Finn Wolfhard kicks things off in January by hosting Saturday Night Live. In February, Joe Keery stars alongside Liam Neeson in the sci-fi thriller Cold Storage. Come May, Noah Schnapp officially graduates from Wharton. And in July, Sadie Sink makes her highly anticipated debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the new Spider-Man movie. And it absolutely does not stop there, guys. Sadie Sink is taking over Broadway, leading Romeo and Juliet. Maya Hawke joins the massive world of the Hunger Games. Caleb MacLachlan is lending his voice to the lead role in the animated sports comedy GOAT. David Harbour returns as the ultimate action hero Santa in Violent Night 2, and Gaten Matarazzo is starring in an animated adaptation of Animal Farm. From Broadway stages to blockbuster cinema, they are simply dominating the industry. So the crucial point is this incredible contrast. In fiction, Will Byers was just trying to survive the terrifying upside down. In reality, Noah Schnapp is graduating from one of the top business schools in the world while running 3 companies. In fiction, Eleven was fighting to escape a restrictive, cold laboratory. In reality, Millie Bobby Brown used her immense talent to build a boundless $20 million empire where she calls all the shots. They took the extraordinary pressure of their fictional childhoods and forged incredibly powerful, self-made adult realities. The era of Hawkins is officially over. But looking at these incredible business empires, musical tours, and massive Hollywood blockbusters, their real story is honestly just beginning. It's been an absolute joy exploring this journey with you today. So out of all these brilliant young stars, whose next chapter are you most excited to watch? Thank you so much for learning with us today on The Explainer, and keep your curiosity alive.